So today I will be starting with vitamins, mainly the fat soluble vitamin, that is vitamin A. Now before starting, since I am starting with the vitamins now, I want to give some introduction to it. So let's start. Vitamin is nothing but the organic compound which is present in our diet with small amounts, which is helpful for the biological oxidation or biological functioning of to provide optimum growth and also the health of the organism. So it's nothing but the organic compound present in our diet with just a small amount for the biological functioning. Okay, so looking at the classification, it is divided into fat soluble and water soluble. So fat soluble and then water soluble, right? Now fat soluble has got a mnemonic where all students can remember, that is ADEK. It's not even a mnemonic, but still when we hear about fat soluble, they will just say ADEK, ADEK, ADEK. Okay, so it's vitamin A, vitamin D, E and K, right? Now talking about water soluble, it's so huge, okay, because it is divided into non-B complex and then B complex. Okay, it is divided into non-B complex and then complex and then B complex. Okay, so non-B complex is nothing but your vitamin C. Okay, just write down, non-B complex is nothing but vitamin C, and B complex is divided into two types. Okay, one is energy releasing, and the another is hemopoietic. Okay, the another one is hemopoietic. Okay, so energy releasing, they have got a lot of vitamins, that is from starting with B1 to B7. Okay, but remember you don't have B4 here. Okay, remember in energy releasing you don't have B4, so from B1 to B7, so B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B4 will not come, so I am writing here as B5, B6 and then B7. Don't write B4. Okay, so B1 is nothing but thiamine, B2 is riboflavin, B3 is niacin, and B5 is pantothenic acid, B6 is pyridoxine and B7 is biotin. Okay, now talking about hemopoietic, it is having two important vitamins. One is B9 and B12. Okay, so B9 is nothing but folic acid and B12 is cyanocobalamin. Okay, this is about the vitamin introduction. Now let's talk about the fat soluble vitamin, that is vitamin A. Okay, so I'm writing here vitamin A. So you know that vitamin A is a fat soluble vitamin, right? Now talking about its origin. Okay, so through animal origin it is obtained from food. Okay, but in plant origin, if you see, it is having a provitamin A, that is called as carotene. Okay, it is carotene. It is nothing but a provitamin A, obtained from plant sources. Okay, now remember, during the absorption or digestion of the vitamin A, this beta carotene is going to cleave. It is going to cleave, okay, into where? In the intestine. Okay, so during the absorption, this beta carotene is going to cleave where? In the intestine, into retinal. Okay, this you have to know. Now talking about the vitamins of vitamin A. Okay, talking about the vitamins of vitamin A, it is of three important things. One is retinol, retinal and acid, that is retinoic acid. Retinoic acid. Okay, so these are the vitamins of vitamin A. Okay, now so retinol, you know that it is a alcohol, retinal, it is a aldehyde. So these two are interconvertible forms. So these two are the interconvertible forms, but remember, when it has formed to retinoic acid, it cannot be formed again into retinal or retinol. Okay, so only these two are interconvertible forms, but when it is converted to retinoic acid, it is stable. So this point I want everyone to be clear. Okay, now let us form an equation. Okay, so it has obtained as retinol, right? So this retinol through enzyme, okay, that is retinal reductase, that is retinal reductase, and through some substrates, okay, that is NAD plus, through NAD H plus plus H plus, it is forming retinal. Okay, it is forming retinal, but remember it is in interconvertible form, so write this symbol. These are the interconvertible forms. Now this is again converted into retinoic acid, which becomes stable. Okay, now what are the sources of vitamin A? What are the sources of vitamin A? So the excellent sources of vitamin A, if you see, the liver, fish, and then egg. So these are the excellent sources of vitamin A. Even talking about vegetables, green leafy vegetables is also a source of vitamin A. You can include over here. So this is about the sources of vitamin A. Okay. So now we'll talk about the absorption and digestion of the vitamin. Now this absorption of vitamin, you have the animal sources are available. So these animal sources, they bring about retinyl esters. The animal sources, they are available as retinyl esters, and they are hydrolyzed, okay, and they are getting hydrolyzed into retinol and fatty acid. So what I am saying is, the animal sources, it is available as retinyl esters, and they are getting hydrolyzed into retinol and fatty acid with the help of an enzyme called as pancreatic hydrolysis. Okay, so hydrolysis, pancreatic hydrolysis. Now talking about the absorption, you need the presence of bile. So bile is very important as far as absorption is concerned. So you have the presence of bile. Okay, now the major site of absorption is nothing but intestine. So in the intestine, mainly the intestinal cells, okay, mainly the intestinal cells, what happens is, the retinol is getting re-esterified into chylomicrons. Okay, the retinol, this retinol is getting re-esterified into chylomicrons. Okay, and this chylomicrons gets transported in the lymph. So what is actually happening? There is re-esterification to form chylomicrons. Okay, and this chylomicrons gets transported to the lymph. Now let's see about the transport of vitamin A. Okay, now transport, actually in the liver it is released as retinol. Okay, so in the liver, okay, in the liver it is released as retinol. Okay, and not only with retinol, zinc is essential for the releasing the retinol in the liver. So you want zinc also. Okay, so retinol is released in the liver. Now what happens? This retinol gets transported to the circulation, with the help of a protein called as RBP. Okay, so it gets transported to the circulation, okay, with the help of a protein called as RBP, that is retinol binding protein, okay, and also with prealbumin. Okay, so it is moving with the circulation with the help of RBP and prealbumin. But remember one important thing, that one RBP, there is one retinol binding protein, it binds to one retinol. Okay, so my English is so easy that the retinol is released into the liver with the help of a zinc in the liver, and this retinol gets transported to the circulation with the help of, goes and bind with the protein called as retinol binding protein with the help of prealbumin, and then this one retinol binding protein, it goes and binds with the one retinol. Okay, now what happens is, this retinol has to go to the nucleus with the help of CRBP, nothing but add cellular here, cellular retinol binding protein. Okay, so this cellular retinol binding protein helps the retinol to move to the nucleus, and goes and binds with the chromatin, Now what about retinoic acid? Retinoic acid is getting transported with the help of albumin. Okay, so this is about the absorption and transport of vitamin A. Let's start with the biochemical function of vitamin A, that is the Wald-Wistful cycle. Okay, so this Wald-Wistful cycle is a very important 5-mark question, and also the Wistful cascade is also a very important 5-mark question. Okay, now talking about the Wald-Wistful cycle, mainly the rhodopsin. Okay, so this rhodopsin is nothing but a membrane protein which is found in the photoreceptor cells of the retina. So this is the membrane protein which is found in the photoreceptor cells of the retina, and it contains mainly opsin plus 11 cis retinal. Opsin plus 11 cis retinal. Okay, now what happens is, when this rhodopsin, okay, when the light passes through it, the light falls on the rhodopsin, it undergoes a conformational changes. Okay, undergoes a conformational changes. And what are the conformational changes is, first it converts into bato-rhodopsin, okay, next lumi-rhodopsin, okay, bato-lumi-rhodopsin, okay, next meta-rhodopsin 1, next meta-rhodopsin 2, right, and then through dissociation it is converted into all trans retinal. Okay, so through dissociation, that is the meta-rhodopsin 2, it is dissociated to form all trans retinal. Okay, all trans retinal. Okay, now this all trans retinal, it is converted into all trans retinol. Okay, so it is converted into all trans retinol. Okay, then this all trans retinol, it is converted into 11-cis retinol. 11-cis retinol, and then with 11-cis retinol, 11-cis retinol, and through association, it is converted to opsin plus 11-cis retinol. But remember, when it has converted to meta-rhodopsin 2, okay, you can directly form this one through opsin. Okay, and this is through what? Association. Don't forget, this is through association. And remember this step, when it has converted to meta-rhodopsin 2, you can directly form opsin, which is converted to 11-cis retinol, and then to opsin, and then 11-cis retinol. This you understand? So opsin plus 11-cis retinol, it is forming your rhodopsin through association between opsin and 11-cis retinol. So what you have to understand is the rhodopsin. It is the opsin plus 11-cis retinol. So it is the membrane protein found in the photoreceptor cells of retina. So this is about the wide visual cycle, a very important 5-mark question. Draw this cycle and explain it. That's all. Okay. Now let's talk about the visual cascade. Now what we have discussed now is about the wide visual cycle, where the light absorbed, okay, where the rhodopsin undergoes conformational changes into Bathor, Lumi, Meta 1 and Meta 2. Okay. Now in this meta-rhodopsin 2, what happens is it is going to activate something called as transducin. The meta-rhodopsin 2 is going to activate something called as transducin. But remember, this transducin is inactive stage. Okay. So how it gets activated is, it is going to involve the conversion of GDP for GTP on this inactive transducin. Okay, so there is something exchange happening in this inactive transducin to GDP, okay, to GDP to transducin, that is GTP. So it is convertible forms by releasing phosphate. Okay, this you understand. Now what happens is, yeah, this we have to put, that is GTP to GDP by meta-rhodopsin 2. Okay, so this we have made active transducin. Now what's next? Now this activated transducin is going to activate cyclic GMP phosphodiesterase. Okay, now this activated transducin is going to activate what? Cyclic GMP phosphodiesterase. Means the inactive phosphodiesterase, it is converted into active phosphodiesterase with the help of activated transducin. Okay, with the help of activated transducin. Now what is next? Now this enzyme is going to degrade CGMP in the rod cells. Okay, this enzyme is going to degrade the CGMP on the rod cells. Actually what happens is, this CGMP, okay, it causes the sodium channels to open. But now what is going to happen is, there will be rapid decrease in this CGMP. So what is going to happen? There is going to be decrease in opening of the sodium channel. Okay, so what I am saying is, the activated transducin is going to activate the phosphodiesterase. Now this phosphodiesterase, this enzyme, what does is going to degrade the CGMP, right? So what is happening? There is a decrease in the CGMP, so there will be closing of the sodium channel in the membrane of rod cells. Okay, so there will be closing of the sodium channel with the help of 5-GMP, okay, where the sodium channel is closed with the help of active phosphodiesterase. Understand? Now what's happening? So sodium channel is closed. That will cause, now what is the final one? That will cause hyperpolarization. Okay, hyperpolarization, right? That will cause hyperpolarization, and this hyperpolarization, it is getting transported to the network of visual cortex of the brain. Okay, it is getting transported to the visual cortex of the brain. So this is about the visual cascade. Now let us look into the functions of vitamin A. So main function is what? Vision. Okay, so next will be like reproduction, immune response, bone growth, okay, and also for the embryonic development the vitamin is very important. Okay, now let us look at the deficiency manifestation. Okay, the first one will be Bitot spot. Okay, so in this Bitot spot or xerophthalmia, what happens is there will be keratinization of conjunctiva. Okay, there will be keratinization of the conjunctiva in these both. But in Bitot spot, what happens is there will be abnormal squamous cell proliferation. There will be abnormal squamous cell proliferation. In more advanced deficiency, you will be getting as keratomalacia. Keratomalacia. That is, it is an advanced deficiency, okay, where the cornea gets eroded and it will be destruction of the cornea. So this is about the vitamin A. Please do subscribe for more videos. Thank you. Have a nice day.